Hey, 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 I am Valerie Luttrell, and welcome to the Single, Saved, and Dating Show. Hey, 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 everyone, and welcome to Single, Saved, and Dating TV. I am Valerie Luttrell. I'm so glad for each of you that are in our live audience, those of you that are watching from around the world. Grace and peace to you. I am so excited. You know, sometimes as a single, especially when you have children involved, there is an art to co-parenting, and I am excited today to have on this show and share in this platform none other than my son's Mason's father, Gerard Williams. Gerard, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I enjoy being here. Thank you.
Awesome. So relax. But we're talking about co-parenting today, and so how is co-parenting for you? We want to be transparent so that the viewers get a full, great picture of what our co-parenting relationship was like. And I'm sorry, I'm going to start and just share that it was not always good. In the beginning, we were a little rocky because we were trying to figure out after our breakup, how do we co-parent together? How do we make things work for the person in our lives that we love the most? And that's our son. And so in the beginning, would you agree? It wasn't always as good as it is now?
Yes, I would have to agree that that is true because a lot of emotions were involved, a lot of hurt feelings, a lot of confusion about what we wanted and how we were going to get there. And so the co-parenting wasn't actually the best, but it has gotten better over time. Our little son is 5 now, and it should have gotten better over time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For me and any other, black man or any man, period, who has to co-parent, it's not an easy thing because you work from your emotions.
Yeah.
And emotions are hard to rein in, they're hard to control. And what I've come to understand from it is that, listen, it doesn't matter you or me. Our main goal is the child.
That's right.
That's it. And I've come to understand over time that it's not you're wrong and I'm right or you're wrong. It's just your way of showing love. It's the love that you show for the child.
Yeah. And one of the things for me, and I want to definitely share this because, when a relationship doesn't work, the relationship has ended, you become a different person. Like you're now single, you're trying to figure it out. You're single with this extension, the father. But one of the things that I never, ever was one vow that I made. No matter what happened to Gerard and I would never withhold my son from his father. That was one of the things that I shared with him, that no matter if we're together or not, you are Mason's father. And so if I'm upset with you or we're having some discord, I am not going to say, well, you can't see your son today because we're not on good terms. That was never an issue, correct?
No, that never was an issue. You always were father first. And I can appreciate that, as a man with a son, and not my only son, but my youngest son, the heart to my heart, you know what I mean? And now that I'm an older man, I realize that our kids are an extension of us. I had a conversation with my older son, and he told me he was so glad that he knew who I was because he didn't have to look at every black man's face wondering, is that my father? Is that my father?
Yeah.
And I didn't want my young son to feel anything like that. I want him to know me, know my convictions, know my loves, my likes, and my dislikes.
Yeah.
And you definitely helped me do that. You are a great mother. You know, me and you may have our differences, but the differences I say are your love versus my love and how we're going to do it.
Right.
Basically.
What's our medium? What's that centerpiece that we get to in co-parenting? And I think that is something that I'm very grateful for, because even for me as a single mom, that was a struggle at first. It was, I feel like I'm here alone in this and I'm doing this on my own. But then I said, well, Gerard, let's figure out a schedule. Let's figure out how we can share the time, because even as a single mom raising a son, I know how important it is for my son to have time with his father. I wouldn't want my son with me 100% of the time, and he's learning, he's acclimating to the things that I like, the things that I'm doing. I don't even allow my son to watch me put on makeup, okay? And so I think it's very important for that father and son bond, and the only way to achieve that is to spend the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You talking about spending time, and I have sons and I have daughters, but the son, he needs to know what I know.
Yeah.
He needs to see and feel what I feel as a son. As a young man growing up, I want him to be a young man when he grows up. I don't want him to be confused, gender-wise or anything else, which with the world we live in today, it can be very confusing. You watch television shows and they have, all types of people, presenting themselves, black, white, and otherwise. But as a child, you can't really differentiate. You see two men kissing, you think that that's probably okay.
Yeah.
It's on television, it's good.
Yeah.
So it's good for the parents, I think. And I think we have a united front when it comes to this. That I back you with what you believe as a parent, and you back me what I believe as a parent. Now, do we always see the same? No, we don't, because you're a woman and I'm a man.
Yeah.
It's just a different love that we bring to our sons, life.
Yeah.
And he's my heart. I don't even get in a relationship because that boy is my heart. He is everything that I am and everything I'm going to be from this point in my life. Now, I have other children, don't get me wrong, and they are important to me. But this one right here is the one. I'm not a young, jitterbug. I'm a dinosaur dad, as he said. You know what I mean? And that's something to contend with also. With his young age, believe me, he runs, he jumps, jumps on daddy. I told him, listen, boy, you getting heavy. Your daddy back can't take too much of that jumping. But I don't stop from jumping.
That's right. And that's something that I appreciate. That's the other side of me, like that I'm not, right? Because I realize that with my son now, sometimes we'll go outside and we might play every now and again, but mommy gets hot, and so, but when he's with his father takes him on those explorative outings. They go out and feed ducks and fish and all this other type of stuff. Well, that's not what Mason and I usually do. We do it from time to time, but on a constant, that is something that his father gives him that I don't. And I think that that's important to have that mix of what we're able to offer him. We're both are good individuals, and we both have good character and good things that we want to teach our son. But there are some things that he's better in than I am. There are some things that I feel like I'm better in than he is. But the whole irony of it is finding that medium to where we realize what is best for our son. We put our egos aside to make those decisions what's best for him. It's just like even typically I'm at work during the day, and if Mason has doctor's appointments, the doctors, they don't see me unless it's a weekend or something that, Mason is with me and I take him to the doctor. But this is Dr. Dad right here. He goes to all the doctor's appointments and tells me what's happening, and then I tell you what to tell the doctors and what to ask the doctors.
Absolutely. You might even call me while I'm in the office. But that's okay.
Yeah, because we work it together, right? We work it together, but that's the thing that I definitely appreciate because as a career mom, sometimes I don't always have the time to take off from work, but Dad does. And so when you're co-parenting, I think it's very important to definitely have that open line of communication. It's not that, Oh, don't see, and let me just talk about this for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
so as a single mom, I never want Gerard to feel that he can't answer the phone when I'm calling. So I'm not blowing his phone up. He sees that I called. If he misses my call, I know that he's going to call me back. So I'm not invading his time or expecting him to always answer. If there's something going on, he knows the difference. He's able to decipher now. If Val calls me 3 times in a row, something is going on with my son. Right? Would you
Correct.
agree with that?
Absolutely.
If I call him one time, that's it. I'm done. He'll call me back when he gets ready. So, imagine if I called you all the time like that. He wouldn't be able to decipher if something is going on or if I'm just on a rant about something.
And you've been known to get on rants about it.
Oh yeah, that was a
school.
Yeah.
Something happened to Mason at school. Co-parenting comes in where I have to sometimes say, calm down, Mom.
Yes.
You know what I mean? He's a little boy. He's going to fall. Things going to happen. Mm-hmm. But that shouldn't have happened. I was like, calm down. You're going to be arrested. You know what I mean?
He's that even person for me because I'm the one that gets the call from the school when something is happening. Now, I'm the first one that they call. And by the time I'm calling him, I'm saying, where are you? And can you get there faster than I can? That's the conversation. And he does have to tell me, Val, calm down a little bit. But then there are also times where when I experience things at the school and I'm like, if y'all think I'm bad, wait till his dad find out what's going on. So right. I think that, as parents, you care for your children and you want the very best for them. And so it is easy for us to, have those sort of knee-jerk reactions sometimes, but at least the other person is balancing off, vice versa. And so,
So we balance in more ways than one because the other day, we were outside and, Daddy, caught an iguana chasing grandma and mom in the house with the iguana. And me and Mason was laughing, ha, 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 ha. He thought it was funny, but the point that it was being made was that you don't have to be afraid of things. You just have to realize that there's some safety involved because I got scratched and I was bleeding. And then Mom and Grandma had to mend me back to health. And Mason saw all of that. He's like, Daddy, are you hurt? I'll be okay. You know what I mean? And that's the part of the man that comes in with the co-parenting where you have to show a boy or a girl that life is not something to be afraid of. You take hold of it. You do the best you can with it. And one other story is that, I'm teaching Mason how to play chess. Look, we're not making all the moves, but he's making some moves. But I found out Mason hates to lose.
Yes.
Ooh, he hates to lose. He'll cry if he loses. So what I have to do is I have to say, listen, son, listen. You didn't come in first, you just came in second. If you didn't win, you came in second. But you can win better next time. These are the things that he has to learn from his father and his mother. But he learned it from me as a man, realizing that I get angry and I get sad, but I need to just get back on the horsey. I fall down. He fell the other day. He was like, I said, you all right? He said, yeah, but my stomach hurt. I said, well, shake it off. He said, all right, I'm all right. Then he went back to doing what he was doing. You know what I mean? These are the things that you learn from men. You know what I mean? Not that you can't learn from mother, because I was raised by a single mother, so I understand that part too. But I knew that it's better to have 2 parents than one, and it's always better to work together for the child's interests. I don't care what differences we have. We work together for Mason and interests at all times.
Something that I thought about, as singles, we both are single, and there are times that we might date, right? Other people. We were married. We had our chapter in our life, but as co-parents, I think it's very important to respect, have those boundaries of respect and not demand, I'm his son's mother, and so I have a right to this, that, and the third. And I think it's important for us to have that level of respect, whereas Mason is definitely comfortable, but I wouldn't want to make him uncomfortable, and I wouldn't want someone that I'm dating to be uncomfortable. So we have that great relationship to where I've even told Gerard who I was dating before, right?
Yes, she did.
it's important, you know, if I saw myself where I was dating someone who I thought may have had the potential to eventually be my husband, I think that was a conversation that I should have with Gerard and give him the opportunity to meet this person, because if this is someone who I feel like will eventually one day be my husband, although we're not together, out of respect, mutual respect for him, so that him as a father, this is a person that this won't be just a relationship that I'm in, because he's part of that. He will forever be part of Mason's life. And so that's why it was always important for me to have that dialogue. And yeah, we've had some laughing moments.
Yeah, we've had some laughing moments. You know, it's been a couple relationships that you've had, and you know, the one that comes to mind is the one where
You don't talk about the relationship I was in.
I'm not going to talk about the relationship. I'm going to talk about the co-parenting in that relationship.
Okay.
And the co-parenting was you were dating this guy, and it seemed like a nice guy, and Mason was really taking a liking to him.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I was like, do I say something to the guy or not? Because this is my son, and whoever's going to be around my son, I want to know something about him, if anything. If just an introduction would be fine.
Right.
So Mason was over my house. He was playing, and he said he wanted to take one of his toys to go play with the other gentleman. So, of course, I had a little hurt feelings there. But as a mature man, I understood, okay, if me and Valerie are not together, somebody's going to be there. She's not going to become a nun. I know. So there's going to be there's going to be another relationship in the future. I already know that. So with that being said, when I finally did meet the gentleman, I went to him nice. I introduced myself and I said, "How you doing?" Blah blah blah. And then I said, my son is really taking a liking to you, and I hope that you're going to be around if that be the case, because he needs no more pain of his parents not being together or whatever the case. So if you're going to be around, great. If not, he's always got a father, and I'm always going to be here. And that was it. And that was it. I struggled with that because I didn't really want to come off to the guy saying anything. But then again, I love my son, and I want him to know that I love my son, and I will do anything for him at any time, and I will intercede with any relationship if I have to. And Valerie knows in a co-parenting manner that I'm going to be cordial, I'm going to be respectful to the relationship and everything that goes with that. So, the other thing that I can say about that is because me and Val, we co-parent, I've decided that if we go on some trips together with Mason, we went on a plane together, I went with her on her job at one time, me, her, and Mason went on a plane. We stayed in a hotel. She was working. Me and Mason was vacationing. You know what I mean? We saw all in Nashville. You know what I mean? So, and we did a lot of nice things. And then she came home and we went to dinner. And it was almost better than a marriage, almost. You know what I mean? I hate to say that, but it was better because we had an understanding. We had a knowledge of who we are and what we felt about each other. Mm-hmm. And you can't beat that.
Yeah, and you made a good point when you were talking about, us traveling together as a family at times. If you are dating someone that you feel is, close to being your husband or has the potential to be your husband, it's important to have that open dialogue with them too, so that there is a level of comfortability, because the relationship that Gerard and I have, we have a relationship based upon our son. And so the gentleman who I was dating at that time would say, "Hey, look, my son's father will be traveling with me so that Mason can come along with me." And he was okay with that, and I think, when you're upfront about things and you share things and you're transparent about things, there's no misunderstanding on the other person's behalf. And so we were able to, I think, we had a suite. Mason and I slept in the king bedroom, and his father slept on the couch.
I might have been in the kitchen, but no, just jokingly, it was really great. It was great for Mason. See, I believe children, period, not just Mason, but all children, they need to see their parents together. They need to see them loving, even if they're not together. They need to see that, because that's what's going to make them a well-adjusted, well-balanced person. All love doesn't work. I already know that, and that's not good or bad. It's just life. But our kids that we love, they need to know that we love each other and we love them. That's hands down what I feel. I would co-parent to that boy until I get 80 or whatever. Whatever. I don't know how long it's going to be. A friend of mine was joking with me and said, you know, when your son graduates from college, you're going to be 80. I said, geez. So that's why I stopped counting my age. I'm only 5. That's as far as I go.
Yeah.
I'm 5. Next year, we'll be 6. Right?
But yeah, so it's no discord, and it is possible to have a great co-parenting relationship, and I think it all hands down, everything that should be done between a co-parenting and a co-parent relationship, the center focus and the foundation of that relationship is always and should always be the child.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we do things for Mason, and when Gerard first said, "Oh, we need to travel and do things," I'm looking at him like, "What?" Because we're not together anymore. But then we had the conversation, and we talked about how important we felt that was for Mason, because I've heard people say sometimes, well, I stayed in this relationship for my children. Well, what are you asking your children to be a part of? Is that relationship toxic? Is that what they're watching? So it is possible that when things don't work out, it doesn't have to be a toxic relationship. It doesn't have to end in a way in which you can't have that relationship with the person who you were once married to. It's possible, right, Gerald?
Absolutely, it is possible. I mean, my closing statement will be this: that as a man of children and having a son and having an ex-wife, I understand that relationships are hard and they don't always work out. But the truth of the matter is, if I have a child with you, then you are family with me for the rest of my life. I don't care what happens. If I hit the big lottery, Lord have mercy, you still be family. Mason, you get a car. But that's the seriousness of it, because that's your family. I mean, if you give up on your family, you gave up on yourself. And I'm grateful to come and speak my mind on co-parenting. It's surprising that a young woman like this could even fathom the fact that the input of the father means so much, because in today's society you see how, I don't want nothing to do with him and this and that. And the truth of the matter is, just a little understanding, a little love, a little cooperation will go a long way. Maybe not in the relationship that you have with your co-parenting person, but also with your child.
So we decided to bring our phenomenal son, Mason. Thank you so much for joining the show.
Thank you for being here.
All right. So we're talking about co-parenting, and sometimes you're with mommy and sometimes you're with daddy. How do you feel about that?
I feel good about that because it's Lord is staying here.
Can you hear him? He said he feels good about that because the Lord is staying here for us. Right? Is that what you said? Yeah. So God brought you here to this world to do His work, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What else did you have to say about that?
Like, if I do my work every day in this school because I like it, then I need to learn stuff what I need to do.
Yeah. Okay. And so, how do you feel when, we go on family trips with me, mommy, and daddy?
Like, it feels beautiful. Like when I stay there with daddy and I live there because I like it. But the school is going on, so near where I'm at.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
You know about the coronavirus then, huh?
Yeah, so how do you like taking trips with mommy and daddy? Do you like when we go together as a family to places that you want to go to?
Because the family, I like to stay with daddy and mom because all the world is good.
Yeah. Good job.
And they're little different houses, different worlds you live in, right?
Yeah.
Daddy's world is the play world, and mommy's world is the serious world. Huh? What'd you say?
Well, it is the time to do stuff. Mommy got to work, daddy got to work stuff.
And how does it make your heart feel when you spend time with mom, when you spend time with daddy?
It feels really good.
Yeah. Do you feel blessed to have two parents?
Yes, I bless the Lord.
You bless the Lord.
Well, as you can see, this is my heart. This boy means everything to me. I want to give him all the opportunities possibly that I didn't have. And one of them I didn't have was a father on hand. I had a father, but he wasn't on hand. And I never want my son or any children to actually not have their father on hand because it's so important. It absolutely will change the outcome of a child's life. Absolutely. No doubt, hands down, it will change. Good and bad, depending on the father.
And so the moral of the story is, no matter what situation you find yourself in, whether you're divorced, whether you're single, and you have children, always make the children the most important thing, because that will help to set the trajectory for the decisions that you make. So be blessed. Thank you so much for joining, and I hope you enjoyed this show. Say bye, Mason.
Bye.
Bye now.
Hello, my name is Jalen Flournoy, and I am honored to be here to hear all this great information and good advice. Me personally, my parents are divorced, so they co-parent to make a great family and life situation for me. I think it's very beautiful to have good co-parents, even though my parents are divorced, which some people may look down upon. I don't have to hear all of that arguing, and it's no issues. They are great friends. I just think that it's all this information is amazing and it's great advice. Yeah.